Greetings everybody, welcome to the infamous Let's Play on TSR. I'm Legon.
And I am Yul.
And I am SpaciousWheat.
And, well, we all have some sort of history with this game, I want to say. So,
yeah, I mean...
I also just realized I forgot to get it to a new game again.
Shit.
Nice.
Professional. Nah, this won't take too long. Nah, don't bother saving.
We can spend the time. We can spend the time talking about our histories with the game, I guess. To be fair.
I mean,
or at the very least, how we were introduced to it.
Well, who wants to start?
I guess I can start because this is a game that I got introduced to way before I ever bought or played it. But it was a game I used to kind of watch on frequent, like, not YouTube Let's Play sites, but like LP archive sites. I don't know if any of you have ever watched any archive sites of LPs that aren't YouTube, but
not specifically.
I used to watch. Yeah, I
didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, there are like site communities that are dedicated to Let's Playing games, and they're still YouTube videos, but they're their own archives, and they're kind of cool. But that's where I watched a lot of infamous LPs, and I always thought the game was pretty cool because of a lot of the different things it did that other games kind of weren't doing at the time. Back in like 2009, 2010.
What a great start to a video game, am I right, guys?
We start talking about our history and things blow up.
Well, I mean, ain't that life in general? Come on.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hey, things are good. No, they're not. No, they're not.
No, they're not. Now you're in fucking jail. Fucking do something about it.
Right, but yeah, and then I finally bought the game, like, I want to say a couple, like 3 or 4 years after I started watching those LPs on it was like a collection of the first two.
Yeah,
and I got it for like 20 bucks.
Collection that has 1, 2, and Festival of Blood, which I will be doing as well.
Right.
Because I am planning on playing the entire series, so that everybody knows.
Right. And that was when I got introduced to the first game, and I actually really liked it. Like, when I was playing it, I had a really fun time. So. It has a small but fun place in my gamer heart.
I am the one with the least experience with it, but I have played the game, don't get me wrong. But we will be disclosing what the hell happened with me later on in this fucking LP, but let's just say that I loved the game, but I had no fucking clue about how to
He didn't understand anything that was going on at all.
Which is not exactly a terrible thing to say about it, because
no, we don't mean by design.
Again, we'll go. And
you'll
understand what we mean later.
Yeah, fair enough. But I have my own gripes with the game that kind of bounce off of that complaint a little bit.
Yeah. I know, but
in fairness, but yeah, I get what you mean. It's just like I have my own complaints with the game that kind of bounces off of that idea.
No.
Yeah,
again.
As much of a special place this game has in my heart, it is extremely aged and jank.
Yeah.
And there are some design flaws in it, kind of. So they're definitely all going to be put on a pedestal here as we're going through it.
Especially if we're going to do a lot of the side quests and stuff, which I am planning on at least showing off quite a few of them. So some of them, mostly the copy and paste ones, I'm planning on showing off in like a fast forward sequence or something, or just cutting past them.
That's also where a lot of my issues with the first two, at least, come from, back to back even. And I just kind of don't think they ever kind of fully fixed the problems that they had with that side content, in a way.
Yeah, I don't think it really ever got... Yeah, it's more... Yeah, I will agree that it is definitely more of a genre problem than anything else, than like specific to Infamous.
I'm going to also say that this is kind of a very obscure game. I honestly, like, if you're not a fan of Infamous,
you won't know what it is.
Yeah, because you really don't know what it is.
If you didn't stumble across LPs like I did in 2009, 2010,
or you know, just go ahead and get marketed by Second Son, which is actually how I was introduced to the game. Neat start word right there.
Right, which is an interesting thing where it's like a lot of people are gonna only know about the first 2 games because this series was on the PS4 launch.
Yeah, because of the most recent one.
Which kind of stinks in hindsight because it is not terrible, but these first 2 probably have a little more heart and soul in them compared to that one.
Yeah, even though I do consider Second Son my favorite, but that is definitely something that I will elaborate on either later in this Let's Play or when we get to Second Son in a couple years.
Right.
Anyways, what makes me just, you know, what makes me fume is the fact that not so many people know about it, and people were really fucking angry when they you know, when they were when Cole was introduced into
thousands crushed by falling buildings or burned alive in the fires.
Yeah.
Trish lost her sister.
crushed by falling buildings.
Lost me. Zeke was always there.
But continue your point about when Cole was introduced.
Hold on. Because I want to say something. I made the joke that a flake thugs falling, rioting, theft, rape, civilization committing suicide. That's Mexico, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking Mexico. Like,
To be fair though, this is also the purge of the game.
no, like they say that
The Purge with superheroes.
They say that this is United States. Fuck off. This is clearly Mexico.
This is Mexico with Americans.
This is another day in Mexico. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people were angry when Gold was introduced as part of the roster for PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, and
As 2 characters, no less.
And I get where they're coming from, but the problem is that they did it they got angry because they didn't know what the game was.
I guess that's fair, and I guess I never heard that criticism, to be fair. I didn't even know he was 2 different characters, but in my opinion,
there was both the evil version and the good version.
Yeah, and it's
And
like,
they
my
took up
opinion
separate
is
character slots.
Watch TV.
Right, and PlayStation Battle Royale has obviously a lot more problems than just that, but I think the core idea of introducing Cole fits because he is one of Sony's more recognizable characters over the last decade to 2 decades. Because after the crash and Spyro falls from graces, like, there's not many characters that really stand out in Sony's history. And say what you will about inFAMOUS or its obscurity or
It's
whatever.
it's still a PlayStation title at the end of the day.
It's a memorable PlayStation title, which is an important thing to say because PlayStation did not have a lot of memorable titles in the PS3 era.
That's the problem, though. When it is memorable, I'm not saying that this game is bad or something. I'm saying that not enough people recognized it, and that's the major problem, you know? Because
It may have been a thing with the marketing, because I know Second Son was very heavily marketed.
Yeah, Sony did not market this game very well because they probably didn't even believe in it that much to begin with.
Yeah, but again, inFAMOUS is a really good game. I think we all can agree on that. But the main problem is that, well, if you're not going to have, like, if people don't care about it or don't know about it to begin with, then what's the point? Because people were complaining about Cole's inclusion in PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale because, well, not many people knew about him at the time.
But I also argue that because I'm taking the point kind of as like you're saying, what's the point if people didn't know about the game? But it's like, I also argue that doesn't detract from the game as a quality game. You know, I think even if it was a little more obscure, I think it's a better game.
Again, it really doesn't. It's still a really good game, but
it's an unfortunate as opposed to, like, this is a game that people don't really know about because it's not that good.
You know, I just want to bring attention to the game for a second. I never noticed this little picture frame right above the TV with, I'm going to guess, a developer's picture.
Oh wow, yeah, I never saw it before because I never really this is just kind of the hub area and I was just like, this is safe, so I'm just kind of chill here. Never really looked that deep into it.
Yeah, I really only noticed it because I got close to the TV, so it's like, yeah, make sure the audience can hear the TV because it doesn't have subtitles for some reason.
Right. And another thing that's interesting about this game, and to go back into my history a little bit, is I used to play demos of this all the time back when store demos were still kind of a popular thing to have.
Back during the Blockbuster days.
Right, and like during like 2008, 2009, I would play this little first beginning demo area a lot, and it was really kind of what sucked me into the game to want to buy it years later when it was cheaper. And I had access to it.
I want to say something that I think this approach to storytelling is really interesting because they actually start you off as a hero instead of just building up to it. Like usually,
they start you off neutral.
I think he means more with those superpowers.
Yeah, like usually games with a superhero theme tend to go with the route of, hey, this guy is fucking.
This is a normal person.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
This is a normal person, and then he suddenly becomes superpowered.
Yeah,
right. You start off with the zappy powers.
Exactly. You start off as a superhero already, and this is a really interesting approach because it's interesting because there can be some problems with this kind of storytelling, but at the same time, well, yeah. Anyways, here's Legon.
I think to boost your point a little bit is you do start off with the powers, but then the game doesn't make you feel like you don't grow at all. Like by the end of the game, you have so much more than you started with anyways, that it's like you can kind of start off with a couple of the powers anyway.
Yeah, and that's not counting the DLC ability that I have right off the bat. Of course, I have to buy it first,
also,
but at the same time.
I really like that. I totally forgot. I really like that main menu art. It's really cool. I don't think it like that. This is just a cool like screensaver almost.
Yeah.
I really dig. I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff in video games. I like the little details like that over a lot of other things. So that kind of thing can suck me in when I'm playing it.
Come on. He told me he was gonna
but yeah, I just think this is an interesting title, and I'd also argue this is going to be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but since we're getting there, kind of, I think this is kind of a better climbing simulator than Uncharted ever was.
I will not argue with that. This is definitely much better.
No,
Uncharted is very much more like Uncharted is definitely scripted heavily, and inFAMOUS is just like go ahead and do it freely. We don't care which way you go.
Okay, guys, I'm going to fucking go and say controversial. inFAMOUS has aged way fucking better than Uncharted ever has.
I think, yeah.
I will agree for Uncharted 1. The other games, not so much.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me say it, but I'd argue that inFAMOUS 1 and Uncharted 2 could go at it for a little bit in terms of aging.
Really?
Because I've even played the second game recently on the collection, and I don't know. I just didn't enjoy Uncharted 2 as much as I did the first time. But with inFAMOUS, I could go back and I'd still get a lot of fun out of it.
Maybe not for the right reasons because of how jank this game is. But still.
Yes and no, but yeah, I definitely think that. But see, that's the thing is like I think inFAMOUS is jank due to freedom, but Uncharted is not as jank because it is a more linear experience.
You too.
Uncharted or inFAMOUS. Wow. Uncharted, the infamous story. Uncharted. Fuck, I did it again. inFAMOUS is not as linear.
Don't just go. Don't worry about me on top of the train tracks. Why?
But I could hear some disagreement with the idea that inFAMOUS 1 aged better almost than Uncharted 2, so...
Zeke just knocked the guy over by launching him into the air.
Zeke said he didn't have superpowers. He had superpowers the whole time.
No. Zeke has superpowers right from the get-go.
Watch out, guys! It's the Pusher.
No. This is the descendant of the Pusher, the Zapper. I mean, it's ironic because both of them are named Cole.
I guess, but I've always seen this game as the white static shock game we never are gonna get. Static shock in Mexico City.
Yes. Go. Yes. This is what we needed.
But I do think that there's another interesting aspect of the powers is like, I mean, I brought up Static Shock, but you really kind of don't get a lot of games where you get to like be a thunder god pretty much, and this is kind of the series that let you do that. for 2 of the games.
I mean,
And then it was
Final
just a
Fantasy-
bunch of random stuff.
I mean, Final Fantasy 13 was one of them. I swear.
Did lightning? I don't remember a lot of. Like, what did she have? Lightning powers, or was her name just Lightning?
She had lightning powers.
That's where I caught my first sight.
Well, I guess I don't like 13 in any way, but I guess I do gotta credit it for that.
I don't care for 13 in any more than Dissidia.
Let's welcome to the Infamous LP, where we're talking about Final Fantasy.
Meanwhile,
meanwhile,
we're getting our glimpse into the first villains of the game, or at the very least, the first meat shields.
Meat shield. Our first fucking test dummies.
Yeah.
Oh, there he went.
After we kick them on the ground.
Yeah, the sapper is striking again.
So threatening with your gun. Zap.
It's the sapper! Watch out! It's the sapper!
Oh no, he's here to kill us all.
That was another thing I like about both the at least the first. I'm on the record. I've never played Second Son, so I don't really know, but I know a little bit.
It's much better in gameplay. It's a
yeah.
lot smoother in everything except story, which completely sucks.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I think story is actually one of the few things about Infamous I kind of dig. At least
Yeah,
the first
story
one.
is one of the biggest strong points of Infamous, I will agree. And Second Son just doing away with most of that is just it's middling.
Feel.
Okay.
3 of us for weeks.
Well, I kind of want to get this point out real quick. Is that the first 2 games? What I was trying to say was I really liked the comic booky cutscenes that certain like cutscenes have, like where it looks like a moving comic book.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But to bring focus back onto this guy just pushed another guy over and nearly killed him. But this is basically one of the main things of the game that you can use is basically the karma meter, which is
It's one of the main gameplay mechanics that Infamous does really well.
I think it does it really well in everything except story sometimes, but that's really not apparent until the second game, and even then until the end.
I'd actually really argue Infamous 1 and one of its biggest draws to me and why I kind of hold it a little dearer is like I really think this is one of the few games in history that's done a karma system and didn't like fuck it up.